For 3 years, Ukraine and the Ukrainian people have fought against Russia's war of aggression, defending the freedom of all of us.
Ukraine deserves our unwavering support and a just, lasting peace based on the core principles of international law and UN Charter.
There must be no negotiations on Ukraine without Ukraine, and no negotiations on Europe without Europe. Be assured, Finland does its best to assist Ukraine on its path towards peace and EU and NATO memberships.
We will continue to support Ukraine with as much defense material as possible, and we encourage others to do the same. So far, Finland has provided Ukraine with defense material worth 2.5 billion euros.
Ukraine remains our biggest development cooperation partner and the largest recipient of humanitarian aid. Also, the whole
All right, lovers of freedom, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. You're welcome to this YouTube channel. This is the only channel where you get your legit information regarding what is actually happening in Finland. That's the case between the federal government of the zoo country called Nigeria and the Finnish authorities regarding our PM Simon Ekpa. Now, you can see them coming out, both the president, both the Minister of Foreign Affairs, both this one, they are talking about what Ukraine is fighting about. Remember that years back, Finland have to fight this same battle out of Russia. Now, let's go straight to the point. Why this is related to Simon Ekpa. Simon Ekpa was a very, very strong soldier over there. He fought. Simon Ekpa have fought for the Finnish authorities. So, the Finnish authorities know that there is no how they can compromise this arrest. No matter the means the Nigerian government are coming, no matter the kind of pattern the Nigerian government are coming with, they have failed on arrival. Now, let me give you this particular deal. Remember last year, when Simon Ekpa was taken into detention by the local police. Now, the Nigerian media, they were spreading false information regarding Simon Ekpa. Number one, they said that he will be extradited to Nigeria. Musa was calling on the Finnish authorities, send Simon Ekpa, send him down. Nigerian government, even the Attorney General of Nigeria, all of them were keen because they think that the Finnish authorities will just send them, Simon Ekpa, down to Nigeria. Now, just last month, Musa was asked what is delaying, that it have taken time, that the interrogation and detention of Simon Ekpa have taken time. So Musa was like, Finnish authorities have a way of doing things, and they have protocol, and this one. So he is no more talking about extraditing Simon Ekpa to Nigeria state. Now, what they are pushing now is for the Finnish authorities to jail Simon Ekpa. But they have failed. They have failed because it has been confirmed yesterday that the UN president is now interested in this particular case. This case is not a small case. You label Simon Ekpa a terrorist. What have Simon Ekpa done wrong? Simon Ekpa has been using his social media handle just to expose your criminal activities in the Biafra land. That is what he has been doing. So you have been compromised already. The Nigerian government have failed. They don't know how to put themselves in shame. Musa don't know how to put himself in shame. So they're looking for every means to make sure, with the help of Southeast governors, they're looking for every means now to make Simon Ekpa not available again. Because they know that if Simon Ekpa comes back to social media, it will be a very, very big shame to their government. Musa will cry. So that is what they have been fighting for. They are no more fighting for extradition. What they are fighting for now is for the Finnish authorities to jail him. That is the new face now. That is what the Nigerian government are fighting for now. But they have failed because so many world organizations are now interested in this particular case. And now remember that Donald Trump is against what the kind of funds the United States of America have funded Ukraine. Donald Trump is looking for a way whereby the Ukraine president will pay back this money. And believe me, that is why these Finnish government officials are coming out now to support Ukraine. So gradually, this case is entering into the ears of Donald Trump. Gradually, is getting into the ears of the world powers, of the world organizations. The case of Nnamdi and the case of Simon Ekpa is the two reasons whereby the Nigerian government will be exposed. Biafra is coming. We will keep telling you that Biafra is coming. Look at what is happening now. Every hidden truth has been exposed. See, so many truths will be exposed very soon. And the Nigerian government will have no other option than to sit on the round table with us to discuss our referendum. Because they have failed and they will continue to fail. And they will continue to fail. So, my brother, my sister, we the true Biafrans will continue to spread all this information. We will continue to spread all this great information and expose their criminal activities in Biafra land. You are talking about the civil war. Do you know what is going on in different villages in Biafra land? Do you know how these so-called governors with their own private security personnel are detaining, destroying, killing innocent Biafrans in different villages? Go to Anambra, go to Imo State, go to Owerri, go to Olo, go to Ebonyi State. Just recently, a whole community in Ebonyi State were massacred. Something that should cause the Nigerian states to shake, but the Nigerian media have to push it aside. The Ebonyi State government have to swallow it aside because they know what they are doing. So this particular battle is still on. The war is still on. The Nigerian state hates the Biafrans, and that will continue to prevail, and that will continue to prevail until we, the Biafrans, come together and decide on our own that we need to leave the Nigerian state. They have killed more souls. The souls, the million souls, the thousands, millions of souls that have died in the course of this freedom, that have died in the course of this movement. We never stop crying until we, the Biafrans, do the proper thing, until we come together and fight this government and fight our way out of the Nigerian state. So many souls have died. So many innocent children have died. They have done a lot to us. The Nigerian state have done a lot to us. Now, they are still doing more to us. Now, they have detained Nnamdi for over 4 years now in DSS custody. Now, they are still seeking for the arrest and detention of Simon Ekpa in Finland. They want to collapse and destroy everything that concerns the Biafra liberation. Remember, this whole same government came together and tagged IPOB, that's the Indigenous People of Biafra movement, and a terrorist group. They came together and they signed it into law. Who will release Nnamdi? Who will release? I keep telling you that the Nigerian state will never take of releasing Nnamdi because they know what they have done. And they know we, the Biafrans, will not stop until we start feeling, until they start talking about our freedom. We will never stop until they start talking about freedom. So if you are just joining us now, do well to subscribe to this YouTube channel. I'll be sharing an important video now. So make sure you react to this video in the comment section so that we can talk and decide and discuss ways by which we, the Biafrans, can grow and defend our freedom. Let's not mind all these people in exile fighting over fundraiser. This one will say I'm the deputy PM. This one will say I'm the deputy PM. Let's not mind them. People that should be very, very organized. People that should be fighting for our freedom. You are in exile. You believe we'll have a government in exile. People that should be supporting and funding our angels on ground are over there fighting like small children. Because of fundraising, because of Simon Ekpa. Just 3 months of his detention and interrogation in the local police in Finland, and all of this is happening. Simon Ekpa promised us before he left that he, the Prime Minister of the Indigenous People of Biafra in exile, that he will bring this Biafra for us from exile, because we already had a strong government and we are fighting the Nigerian government from exile. Woto. Just because of his detention for these past few months, you guys have decided to spoil and destroy the solid foundation Simon Ekpa led. Now, listen to this video I'm about to share now, as you subscribe and share this video. Now, stay tuned.
Very, very important. If the United Nations, even the President, Antonio Guterres, will see this very broadcast that I'm making right now, it will be very, very, very important, and it may go a long way to what we are doing. So moving forward, I want to play the video first. After playing the video, I will allow the video to play in full. Then I will begin to analyze it bit by bit. So I want you to pay attention to the very end of it. And I want to announce also, I don't know when this very address was made by Antonio Guterres, but this is real. This is not AI, this is not propaganda, this is real. The only thing there is that I don't know the date that it was made. I only came across it, so I found it very, very necessary for me to use it for this very broadcast, based on what the Biafran people are passing through in the hands of the Zoological Republic of Animal Kingdom, Nigeria today. So pay attention while I play the video, and then we will analyze it.
The world must never forget that Africa is the victim of two colossal and compounded injustices. First, the profound impact of colonialism and the transatlantic slave trade. The roots stretch back centuries, and the bitter fruit continues to affect Africans and people of African descent to this day. Decolonization alone in itself was not a panacea. Political independence did not free countries from structures based on exploitation and decades of economic, social, and institutional underinvestment. It is high time for reparatory justice frameworks to be put in place.
All right, now it is time to begin to analyze this. And I want to say, before moving forward, that I will be coming live this evening to discuss about the issue of Mazi Simon Ekpa, the Prime Minister of Biafra. So everybody is expected to key into that very discussion, because it concerns all Biafrans, wherever you are, all over the world. Now, let us analyze this Antonio Guterres speech one by one, and recall that between 2021 and 2022, Antonio Guterres was in Nigeria. That was after the kidnap and rendition of Nnamdi Kanu from Kenya to the Zoological Republic of Animal Kingdom, Nigeria. So, Antonio Guterres was in the zoo. He visited Abuja and another state in the northern part of the zoo. This very man, in fact, before we continue, let us first of all analyze this very video and his speech.
The world must never forget that Africa is the victim of two colossal and compounded injustices. First, the profound impact of colonialism and the transatlantic slave trade.
So, you see, I always say that when somebody wants to deal with you, when they want to buy you, when they want to finish you up, they first of all give you beautiful and big names. They first of all remind you how great you are. And after, once you hear but, the moment that word but comes in, then that is the time they want to rip you off. So, this man telling us how Africa is a victim of colonialism, and after that speech, they clap for him. For us to do what? You are telling us something that we already know. We are talking about solution. Don't come here to tell us what we know. We already know that we are victims of colonialism, which your own people participated. There are some countries that speak Portuguese in Africa, the likes of Mozambique and Angola. These countries, speak Portuguese, and they were colonized by Portugal. So, this Portugal, where he comes from, his country, this Portugal, where he comes from, his country, is among the countries in Europe, European countries that destroyed Africa from beginning. So, Antonio Guterres, as somebody in your own level, what is your country, Portugal, doing? And you, as a top man, one of the top men in the world, what are you doing to, bring solution to our problem, not to remind us our problem? even though maybe you think, or some people may think that you are saying it so that we can wake up. What is your country and you yourself with your organization that you are leading, which is United Nations, doing to proffer solution to our problem? I will come to Biafra matters in a jiffy. Let's continue.
The roots stretch back centuries, and the bitter fruit continues to affect Africans and people of African descent to this day. Decolonization alone in itself was not a panacea. Political independence did not free countries from structures based on exploitation.
Very fantastic. That is where I want to come in now with the matters of Biafra. Nnamdi Kanu and Simon Ekpa. He said decolonization, political independence did not bring solution. Let me just put it in a plain terms based on what he meant. That political independence does not bring solution to our problems in Africa. So you know, then decolonization is the real deal here. And how do we bring this decolonization? These countries or these tribes or states amalgamated into one bigger countries in Africa have to be decolonized. That is the real deal here, the solution. Which Nnamdi Kanu, let me start with him, is fighting for. And he was kidnapped in Kenya, the zoo, Nigeria. The government of the zoo committed an international crime that is against the United Nations Charter and law, against the rule of law that you, Antonio Guterres, is overseeing. Even some part of this, your organization, has advised the government of the zoo to free Nnamdi Kanu. Yet till today, Nnamdi Kanu is still being held in a solitary confinement in a DSS terrorist organization in Abuja. Yet, you, Antonio Guterres, you came here between 2021 and 2022. You never mentioned the name of Nnamdi Kanu or Biafra when you had an opportunity to do so. You never mentioned these names. You came here, you visited the then president of the zoo, Muhammadu Buhari. You toured the northern states and then flew back to wherever you came from. Shame on you. It's a big shame. Very big shame. I'm not going to hide my mouth to say it. That is our proverb. You see? Have you seen how hypocritical you are? Now, currently, the Prime Minister, Simon Ekpa, is being held in Finnish prison. Are you telling me, Antonio Guterres, that you have never heard about it? That you are not aware of it? No, you are aware of it. But what? You are hypocritical on this same issue. Yes, of course. You also are aware that the zoo government is doing every single thing within their powers, including their allies, Britain and other Western countries, trying to pressurize Finland to subvert the law, and probably jail an innocent man who is advocating for the freedom of his people, which is what you are talking about, which you said that political independence is not solution. So what is our solution? And how can we do this when people like you and your organization, which is United Nations, are not giving full backing to those people and states that want to be free from the whole mess that we all in Africa found ourselves because of colonialism? You are doing nothing. Your organization is doing nothing. Biafra has been redeclared in Finland. How many countries within the United Nations organization have recognized Biafra? None, not even one. Nobody's even talking about it, although For this one, I'm not going to blame them, because those who claim to be in charge of both the redeclaration and those who are supposed to pursue the diplomatic side of this very freedom have thrown everything in the bin. So I'm not going to blame the United Nations or those nations who are within this organization concerning this very matter. But the man who's supposed to oversee this movement is being held in Finland, yet United Nations is not saying anything about it. So how do we talk about decolonization or decolonizing Africa? So please, don't shoot me at the same time trying to remove the bullet from my body. No. Allow me to find my way to heal myself. You cannot be my doctor after being the one who shot me. It's not going to happen.
And decades of economic, social, and institutional underinvestment. It is high time for reparatory justice frameworks to be put in place.
You see, after finishing his whatever he said, they clap for him. What has he said? The question here is, what is your organization doing about it? The only thing United Nations know how to do best is to take bribe, oil, and other resources to suppress the oppressed. That's all. Yes, we know that we need recognition from United Nations. We know that we need help from the United Nations.